All right, so yeah, this is the fifth podcast for SGA. I am Co Phoenix, the leader, Splitgate Architects. I make the maps, I make Splitgate videos, and I occasionally stream the game. You wanna go next, Coma?
Yeah, I'm Coma. I pretty much do the same. I'm one of the founding members of SGA. I also just make maps, do a little bit of video stuff, and yeah, pretty much it. Yergi.
Yeah, I'm Yurgi. I'm just one of the map builders here. I've made a couple of videos in the past, but I've mainly just come for the podcast now.
All right. And then we got ourselves a special guest, the lead game designer, Akuvo. I don't know if you go by your real name at all anywhere, but yeah, you want to
Yeah,
take away from here?
yeah, I'm Derek, or more known as Akuvo online. Yeah, I've been around Splitgate basically forever. Started playing the original Splitgate 1 on launch day in 2019. I always say I was the person complaining that the launch got delayed by 2 days, telling the dev team that that was unacceptable. Meanwhile, they hadn't slept in days, which I didn't know at the time or care. I just was upset because I set an alarm for 8 a.m. and the servers weren't up. So
Yeah.
that was my kind of intro into Splitgate, and then got absolutely hooked back then. Played an unhealthy amount, and then eventually both was a professional player for some period of time in Splitgate 1, and then eventually got an internship, and that turned into a job here.
Oh yeah.
Been here for over 5 years. So yeah.
Very
Oh
nice.
yeah, oh yeah.
So normally I ask people like what they do in the Spigot community. You kind of said a little bit of that. Can you go in details like what exactly you do within like 1047?
Yeah, totally. Very quickly, back when I originally joined, it was a QA internship, so obviously helped test stuff for some period of time. And then when I joined very originally, I was a community manager. So I don't know if any of you guys have been around since like 2020 and then right at 2021. That was
Yeah,
around when I joined as a community manager.
that's
I
when I
think definitely
started.
some of you have been. If you ever saw all the cactus profile pictures,
they
that was my
were
claim to fame. I had
they were
dozens of the
everywhere.
cacti.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was infectious. It was great. And then right around the time that we pivoted to Splitgate 2 is around the time that I moved into game design, which is what I'm doing now. Um, and game design is basically like the step that you work with people on. I don't do a lot of implementing stuff, so if something's broken, I can say it's not my fault because I didn't do it. But the ideas basically and like the execution, giving feedback on stuff, trying to make guns feel good, be balanced,
Yeah.
unless it's not balanced, and then it wasn't me, it was somebody else.
Yeah.
Game modes, abilities back in the day. Again,
Oh,
the wall
um,
wasn't my idea. That was somebody else's shit. So
He's
I was
like, don't
gonna
put that
say,
blame on me.
but did we get the slide perk from you?
yeah, I'm the inventor of the
Oh,
slide perk
Oh
it's the
and
best
yes.
perk
Let's
all
ever.
of
go.
the slide values in general.
That's
Slide
my
perk is a
favorite
funny
park in the
story. I
game.
could definitely talk about how that came to be is fun. But
Cool. Could we make the
yeah,
slide
all
perk
the good
just
things were me.
default
All the
in
bad things
classic
aren't.
mode?
Yeah, I've heard some people say that. I would like that personally.
I
I
Must
would
be a
for
lot of
sure.
fun, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's just so fun, right? I love sliding. I think there is some people, and I can see the argument that think it would
Yeah.
just be like pretty crazy if everybody's sliding around like that. I don't know. Maybe we just try it someday and see what happens.
Maybe we
Uh,
try it as a mode first,
yeah,
just
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
We could do something like that. Um, 'Cause yeah, I mean, slide's my baby. I love slide.
Oh,
Or sorry,
s-
slide.
Same.
slide. Hell yeah.
So how did you end up discovering Splitgate?
Yeah, it was probably like, gosh, what was it? I don't know.
It's a long
Early
time ago.
2019 maybe. Um, I played a ton of Fortnite. That was my first PC game. Um, and I had a group of 4 friends. We played squads a bunch in Fortnite, semi-competitively. And I wanted to play a new game with my friends. My buddy was an old Halo player, so he wanted us to get into Halo. I'm like, people have been playing Halo for 25 years. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be as good as them at Halo. So I was looking for games that were coming out, scrolling Reddit. I think I made like a Reddit post maybe on like, I don't know, some kind of gaming subreddit that was made for finding a game to play, where you describe what you want in a game, and then they give you ideas. And the 2 ideas, if I remember right, one was Splitgate was launching in like 6 months, and the other one was like Battalion or something. And
Oh
Splitgate
wow.
seemed cooler. To me, because A, it was coming out
Yeah.
sooner, and 2, I watched some trailer where somebody got their feet portaled out from under them and then shotgunned. I was like, that's sick. Kind of the attraction of like the unique mechanic that brought me into Fortnite, in obviously building in Fortnite, portaling and Splitgate was super interesting to me, to where there's kind of like an unexplored thing that you can get good at and kind of push the boundaries. And just obviously, like I said, my buddy that I wanted to play with was a Halo head, so it being Halo with portals is like sick. And Portal was also one of my favorite games back then.
Yeah.
Portal 2 is amazing. So yeah, it was kind of, like I said, definitely the more interesting option of the 2. And then again, set my alarm for 8 a.m. Told all the devs they suck, because why would you possibly delay a game 3 hours before it came out? And then I got hired. So it's that easy.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the Splitgate community, though.
What? How exactly did you get hired in the company? Like, can you go through that story?
Yeah, totally. So, like I said, started playing day 1. I was in college, and by that I mean I was in college for an hour a day and gaming for 14. So I played a lot of video games. Used to play, like I said, tons of Fortnite. Would play in like the World Cup thingies and stuff. Not very well, but doing my
Yeah.
best. It was my first PC game. And then Splitgate like totally took that over as my absolute addiction that I was obsessed with. Um, at the time, actually, I only played free for all ranked. Um, just played tons of free for all ranked because I was too nervous to queue 44 ranked, because I didn't want to make my teammates lose. um, anyways, played a ton. Eventually, um, started to like get to know the people in my lobbies, and then a lot of those people, as I kind of climbed the ranks, were like the original people who were QA testing the game. Like, um, God, I can't remember their names, but like super original competitive teams back then. Um, kind of got a name through free for all. Started climbing fours ranked. Eventually, started joining competitive teams through that, and all these people back then were in like the Splitgate 1 QA server, where they would just let the community play updates that were coming up. So kind of through that process, got my way into the QA Discord server, where it's whatever it was, 100 community members and a bunch of devs. And I showed up to like every QA test that they would run back then. So that's kind of how I got to know like, Ian and Zach and
Yeah.
Nicholas and everybody on the dev team. And put myself out there a bunch, like, hey, if there's anything I can ever do to help more, like, I'm passionate about this. I want to make it, help make it as good as it can be, help it succeed. Um, at the time, I wasn't as. It's funny now, because being in design, right? I'm very like critical of everything, because that's kind of how design goes, right? Like, you have to
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
polish and push things. Back then,
Yeah.
it was like, I remember Ian asked me like, what would you do to make the game better, to make it more successful? I'm like, it's perfect. Like, I love this game. Which is funny to think back to, because now I like, if you ask me about Splitgate, I'm like a lot more critical than I was at the time, because I was just such
Yeah.
a big fan, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, favorite game of all time, probably. Anyways, yeah, got to know
It was a
people
lot of
that
fun.
way. Eventually, that turned into kind of like an unofficial official internship, where it's like, yeah, sure, like QA test our game, and we'll like, you need an internship because you're 20 years old in college, not applying yourself, and not gonna have a real internship, play our game and help us. Yeah, we'll call it an internship. We both, get helped, right? And then eventually, tried to prove my worth, right? Of like, try to be as helpful as possible just because I'm passionate about it, and that has always done me well. So that eventually, kept getting better at the game. Played with Ian in a couple tournaments, kept getting to know them better, and then eventually that turned into basically right around console launch. Joined as a community manager full time, and then yeah, that was fun. Spending 12 plus hours on Reddit a day, and
Yeah.
Discord and everything as things exploded in lovely ways. Yeah, that's the story though. There wasn't any like one moment where it's like, yeah, here it is. It's just kind of gradually building relationships over the course of many months, showing up every weekend until 4 a.m. while we're QA testing some build that's supposed to go out tomorrow, and keeps breaking. It was fun times back then.
Have you been like very busy the past couple of days since launch?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, we aren't in the same kind of situation that we were in back in Splitgate 1 or at the original Splitgate 2 launch, where like everything is absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
And also like, I can tell a lot of stories around both Splitgate 1 and Splitgate 2 launches, but like, QA testing the build and everything is not working well, and you're supposed to launch in 12 hours is like things that happened a lot to us in
Yeah.
really unfortunate ways, obviously. But that was like, work for 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not like that anymore
Yeah.
because we've gotten ahead and kind of learned from our mistakes of like keep pushing our luck, keep pushing our luck. Didn't quite get lucky at Splitgate 2 launch, especially beta launch and then also launch. So, I think that stuff works better when you're a team of like, I think when I joined, we were like 15 people, and then at Splitgate 2 launch, we were like 200. So hoping that everything falls into place doesn't work as well as 200, which now we've learned and gotten a lot more organized ahead of Splitgate Arena Reloaded Launch.
Yeah.
No, that's
So we like have been testing the final build for over a week, where like small things are broken, but like nothing that's, oh my god,
yeah,
you're
I've
crashing on launch, right? Like there's nothing like that.
noticed that as I've been playing, there are small bugs here and there, but it's nothing that's really game breaking where you're kind of feeling like you're just defeated trying to play the game, which is good. Like that makes it to where you still want to come back and play again and give it another try.
Yeah,
So
it's in a way better state now, for sure, than it was originally.
yeah, and I also feel like with the way you guys launched it, the people who are playing right now are more understanding of where the game is and where it's trying to go to. You don't have
Totally.
as many dissenting voices, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of that is just going in a direction that the people want, right? Like
Yeah.
building with the community like we did for this launch rather than like building in a closed box. Yeah, we think people will probably like this, not as like, I don't know, focused. Where this time we're a lot more focused, and like I think if you scroll to Reddit versus 6 months ago, it's like night and day for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it.
All right. Did you have a question, Yuri?
No, I was gonna say, do you want to get started with the list of questions we have?
Yeah. So I want to start off with a juicy one right off the bat because
Oh
this is
boy,
some
I'm
this
here for softballs.
yeah.
Softball.
Underhand toss only.
Hey, so I mean, you could say nothing. You could say as little as possible or anything, right? But
I'll say ahead of time, like if you're gonna ask like what day are you gonna add this feature, like I
no,
won't be able
no,
to
no.
answer that stuff, right?
So
Or like, are you gonna add this? Like I probably won't be able to answer a lot of that. But
yeah.
anything like process, how did we get to where we are? What do you think about this? Like anything like that, I'll totally do my best to answer.
So this one is, I believe, Ben, Finest Ben. He kind of confirmed you guys were in development for Splitgate races. Could you go in a little bit into any sort of details about how you guys are gonna, plan on bringing that back?
Um, I didn't know that we'd said that, but shout out to Ben. So I don't know
Again,
what I
Shout
can
out
say.
Ben.
again, you
I
can
guess I'll
say
say like
you can say nothing. That's perfectly
I'll say
fine.
some stuff.
All right.
I might say a lot of nothing, but I'll say some stuff. Um, I think I loved Splitgate 1 races, I'll say, and like obviously I've always wanted Splitgate races to come back. It was always I think a lot of people are like, how could you not have races at launch? Like it's like the way to learn portaling that everybody learned portals through. And I think that's just kind of an effect of like there's a very I mean, I love the racing community and all those guys. Obviously, I don't know if you guys know Toby Repellent. He's obviously a big name in that community.
Yeah.
He's my roommate now. Shout out
Oh,
to
you guys
Toby.
are roommates?
Shout out
That's cool.
Toby.
Okay.
I just drove him to the airport earlier. He's back home for the holidays. But yeah, he's one of
Nice.
my super close friends. Um, I met a lot of close friends through the racer community. But with that said, like kind of internal metrics that we've had, like that's always been a super small community, even though it's
Yep.
awesome and a super passionate group, whatever. Like people weren't really learning portals by going to races, and like I think the reason for that is people don't download games to learn; they download games to play and have fun, which is kind of like a lot of our the way that we think about like how do we get someone to have fun playing Splitgate isn't like how do we shove portals down their throat. It's like how do we help them learn in a way that's still fun while they're learning.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like anyways, on the races note, like it was super small in Splitgate because the way that you played races is like sit alone, maybe look up a YouTube video and like play the same thing over and over to try to get better on your own. And like I love that, and a lot of those, the people in that community love that, but it doesn't have a lot of like, how do you appeal to the broader audience with that? Like, I don't want to learn. I just want to play Splitgate. I just want to shoot people, or play with my friends, which is it's not a super easy to play with friends thing. So, anyways, that's some of the stuff that we're thinking about like how do we bring back races is like how do we make this a more approachable thing that's more fun in a way that's not like how do I get better? How do I learn? It's more just like, oh, this is really fun, and also I'm learning portals while I do it. And I think that graffiti did that in a kind of interesting way of like, you play graffiti, you're just trying to win, you're just playing with your friends, but then you're like, wait a second, I know how to portal way better now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like you're opting in to learn like an advanced tutorial or like races were in Splitgate. Even though those are great things that we'd love to offer, it's just they don't always have a lot of mass appeal. So then you're helping a small group of people, so the impact is sometimes smaller. Anyways, with races, I love races. Just kind of thinking about how do we make races that, of course, gives that community what they want, because you can't bring back races and not have it be something that the
Yeah.
racers love, but also give something really fun to everybody else. Anyways, that's kind of what I've thought about a lot, kind of on the design side of races.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess Ben said that we're doing it, so we're doing it.
All right.
Cat's already out the bag.
There you go. No,
Um.
that's actually the first time I heard that it's coming back, and that's great to
Yeah.
hear. Like,
He
I wasn't even someone who did them a lot, but it's just
We're at
something
least looking
fun.
into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows if when eventually it might come back. We're definitely looking into it though.
Yeah,
For sure.
he said in an official Discord like the day before launch that it won't be coming at launch, and I guess there was like somebody talked about on Reddit, like maybe someone officially on the team that talked about it on Reddit. So I think that's where it originally came from. That it was like confirmed through that. So I
I
don't know.
even personally, right? Like anything can change in the next
Yeah.
however
Yeah.
much amount of time. So that's why we don't like promise stuff ahead of time a lot. Is because like we launch if there's like a ton of really high priority requests and like we see in the data like yeah we really need to improve this, then
Yeah.
things are gonna shuffle around the priority list eventually, but like for sure I'll tell you that races are on the priority list somewhere. Like that's something we definitely want to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I know we talked about this, I think, in our previous podcast, but now we actually got someone who can put light on this. Game modes with predetermined loadouts, like it's not classic or the standard like loadout modes, right? But like maybe like game modes where you have like 3 to 5 loadouts that's like shared across all players to choose from. Like
You're saying like you
Like Halo
spawn
Reach.
into a game and it's like which of these 3 loadouts does
yeah,
everyone want to choose?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had that on like a list of things that we wanted to do a really long time ago. Basically, the reason it hasn't happened is it's just a lot of UI work,
hmm
and I'm sure that you've seen it relaunch. Like we had a lot of things that we wanted to do with the UI
Yep.
that
yeah,
we didn't get around to at the original Splitgate 2 launch that, we've been working really hard on for Splitgate Arena Reloaded, both like making it more exciting and more aspirational with like I think the main menu is just way cooler, but also stuff like we didn't have stats, we didn't have a leaderboard, we didn't have a bunch of stuff that are just kind of expected. Like we wanted to have all those things, they just like didn't quite make it. So that's why that hasn't happened. It's like it's the same people that would do that that are doing refer a friend or stats or whatever. Um, so I wouldn't, maybe if a lot of people ask for that, maybe that moves up their priority list, but it's
yeah,
been moved down a bit just because of the things it's competing with. One thing I do want to say though, it's the same reason we don't have like the ability to just choose. We had this in Splitgate, but it's been more complicated in Splitgate Arena Reloaded for a few reasons. Just like the ability to say in a custom game, like, yeah, everybody's gonna spawn with bats or everybody's gonna spawn with rockets, um, which I'm sure has been annoyingly limiting, and we definitely want to do that. That would be a
yeah,
lot easier than. I will say though, if there's like certain modes that you guys like we just don't have a mode that everybody has a bat that's king of the hill, and if I had that, I could make some really cool stuff or
hmm
whatever. Like you guys could shoot me messages on that, and I could just add a mode that's like bats king of the hill or whatever, and then you guys can go in and change all the values or whatever, and maybe that's easy on our side to like make stuff one by one I
yeah,
could do,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
Okay.
anyways, if there's stuff that's like, man, we can't do fun custom games because we don't have bats king of the hill or whatever it is, hit me up.
Yeah, we might have to throw some couple ideas at you then, because like I was messing with the customs the first day of relaunch, and we were able to do some fun stuff. But I
Sure.
definitely there was a couple things where it's like if we had this, we could do this, and it'd be a lot of fun. But
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that, yeah, I mean, just let me know.
yeah, oh yeah,
Obviously don't give me a
Something,
million things, but like if there's any that are like, yeah, this would open a lot of options if we have this set loadout in this base mode, and then we can go in and the rest of the tweaking we can do.
yep.
I can add it and just call it like whatever.
something I
Something
did
that you
to
guys can tweak.
something I did discover is that you guys do have one in the chamber now, and you guys have Instagib, but they're just custom modes at the moment. And I don't know if this was planned from the get go, but so we mess around, see what happens of you turn on weapons, like pickup
Then they all shoot
weapons.
really fast.
Yes.
Did your ears break?
Yeah, I would say at first I had to tune down the audio. I think what was the most
Yeah.
hilarious part was that it just makes you go like levitate and fly around because of the how
Yeah, the
like
impulse.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason because one thing we want to do is expose that. Basically, the way that we did Instagib this time is we just have like a fire rate like variable that we can change on our side, and that hasn't been exposed as a custom game option because like if you shoot an assault rifle really fast, it might break your ears, like just be
Right.
absolute audio mess. But we do want to add that as something that you guys can mess with. We just need to figure out, which we haven't had time to do yet, like reasonable limits for that. I think it's like 0.1 or something for Instagib, so everything shoots 10 times faster.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. So
One thing I noticed when messing with the Instagib in customs was we aren't able to make it a free for all. It's only team Instagib
oh yeah.
right now.
Yeah, that's another thing I'd love to get into custom games soon is
Y-
like just
just
the
cha-
ability to change how many teams are in a mode.
yes. Yeah,
Right.
Because
I agree with that.
that and weapon starts, I think, are the two, at least to me. I mean, you guys tell me if there's something else.
No,
Those
those
are the
are
two things that like
Oh,
really
two
would open up
huge
a lot.
yeah, I would
things.
say that's pretty
Yeah.
high priority for the custom
Because you
people.
can do a lot of customizing of different game modes with just those two things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys don't have right now, but like those are the two things I can think of.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree. And I think as far as like adding things to custom games, those should be high on our list.
Yeah.
Um, but same thing with like starting loadouts. Like if there's any modes where it's like, because I can't add that to custom games, as in
Yeah.
like add that option, right? That's engineering time that's gonna get balanced against 100 other priorities. But if there
Yeah.
is anything where it's like we just really want free for all Instagib, like I can do that. So
Okay.
Okay.
add that to your list of things that you ask me to do.
Yeah, a lot of my requests are more like nitpicks about like specific mode, like details. Like I've
Yep.
been trying to remake Bounty recently, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, well I can't really do split ball because of the whole stealing mechanic. I can't toggle it off.
Can't you
Um,
like add blocks above the thing to block stealing or something?
I could, but with Bounty, I specifically don't want like too many like objects to sit between the player and like the score point. So I don't want to like anybody to sit behind something, camp the point or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Part of the
Um,
play is like you get close to getting it in, but then you don't, and then the enemy can take it and then score themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my thought process is okay, what if I use Firecracker? The only downside is that Bounty originally, because it was capture the flag, you couldn't use portals. You were limited to actually using the map on foot. And then you use your teammates to kind of essentially play this escort game mode. But with Firecracker, I'm going to have to go through and completely redesign the entire flow because you can still portal with the Firecracker. So um, that's like another little thing. I was like, I kind of wish I could, make it to where either A, the Firecracker couldn't be, portaled with or something like that. But I don't know. Something I got to put feedback in for.
Yeah. I think we could potentially add like a steals enabled disabled flag for splitball in the future as well, which would I'm
Uh,
not going to promise it obviously because that's not
yeah,
me doing
obviously.
that same thing. I don't know how much work that is, but
The
that could be like a lower lift option we could add.
The only alternative that I was thinking of is having like somehow doing a neutral split ball thing where it's like it's a neutral split ball capture point and you just need to dunk a single ball in and do that. But I guess because it the neutral zone does not exist, it doesn't work. So yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder if there's any like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have tried a lot, but like flipping the split ball spawner upside down or something. I wonder if that would block
So
um
we have
stealing.
done that. Riv, someone from our community made a whole game mode where it's actually like basketball. You have to take the split ball and actually fly it into the point, and you can't steal it. Like
Yeah.
once it's in, it's in. But you have to basically flip it upside down and put it into a block, and then have it in like a hole, so that way people can't get in. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's complicated.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
sadly that map is broken now though because it relied on those portals, and we can't just use portals with
Oh,
Splitball now.
yeah, we can't even
Yeah,
use portals with football now, so that game mode doesn't work as good anymore.
yeah, you'll have to redesign the map.
Yeah,
Um,
but I think that'd be an easy redesign, nothing too bad.
yeah, this is kind of stuff to we kind of expect that we have to face eventually. Where like there will be some roadblocks trying to like fix things up and stuff. But yeah. Um,
Yeah, totally.
So I saw someone mention this in chat. This is something I want to talk a bit more on too, because I know a lot of people are curious out there about this. But we know that you guys are bringing back BR in multi-team in the future. Is there anything you could share about how exactly they're going to be reworked in any way?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say on the BR front, like, I think there were a lot of things that did work about BR. Like, a lot of people, even if they don't like other BRs, liked, the Splitgate Battle Royale. Um, and then there were a lot of things that didn't work. One, probably the biggest to me at least, was like, it just didn't run well. Like, for a lot of people especially on consoles, like performance was really bad. Um, so I'd say that's like one of the biggest, and then the other biggest is like, how do we make this appeal more to, our players, which is arena shooter fans. Like, what is the version of this mode that's really fun for everybody who loves Splitgate for what Splitgate is, which is like the OG Halo meets Portal arena shooter first. Um, so those are kind of like the design things we're thinking about is like, how do we, you know, make this mode more fun for people who really like arena shooters, which I think some of that we already did. Like, you respawn way faster and whatever, a bunch of stuff about it. But how do we push that further? Because that always was kind of a goal. But pushing that further to be more, fast-paced arena more of a natural extension to the, arena game that we have. And then also marketing to that audience. Like, I know that was a big complaint people had, is like, or not complaint, but like big kind of thing that people said was, you know, this is really fun, but you called it a battle royale and you made a Fortnite trailer. And then, like, how am I supposed to know that this is gonna be something fun for me? How do you gotta know your audience, right? And I
Yeah.
think we didn't do a great job there, of like pitching the game to the people that we want playing it and to our audience, which is where a lot of the, like, I think tone deafness came from around, like, we want to make the arena shooter age better. Here's a battle royale. Um, where I think it does play pretty different than from something like Apex, at least in my
Yeah,
opinion.
Yeah.
I've talked with people before, and just calling it an arena royale could have maybe made a slight difference in the marketing side of things, because it really doesn't play like your traditional BR does. Games are only lasting like 10, 15 minutes at most,
Yeah,
where actual BR you're playing up to 30 minutes plus. So I it definitely has that faster pace that you don't get in other BRs.
Yeah.
for sure. Which, is what we want.
When I wasn't having performance issues, which was very rare for the BR, I mean, I saw like the potential of it. Like, it seemed really fun, and I really liked the ideas that was thrown in there. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised to see it completely gone. Like, I didn't know it was removed like all the way back in, like, I think like September or something.
Yeah, it was in
yeah.
September.
Yeah,
Kind of sad day for me.
I don't think I knew
I would
that
say
was
like,
removed until like late November or something like that.
yeah, I would say like, kind of why we removed it is like, we kind of had a realization as a team of like, yeah, we did bite off more than we could chew immediately.
Mhm.
Like, that's
That
just
makes
true,
sense.
right? Like,
Yeah,
that's why
it's
we launched
a
without
lot.
stats and why we launched without all these things, is like we just had too much that we were trying to do all at once.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's refocus ourselves, and like,
Hmm.
arena shooter is what we do really well.
Hmm.
Like, let's take what we launched with 6 months ago and like, let's make this something that our community loves and that is true to, the arena shooter genre, and does right by it and fixes all the issues, and maybe not all the issues, but fixes the biggest issues, and like, let's launch a really good sequel to Splitgate. Um, which I think is where we're at now. Of like, this is a really good Splitgate experience now, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, I can agree with that.
Where we weren't to there day one of Splitgate 2. Um, And I think being more focused let us do that pretty quickly. Like, I know a lot of people when they saw, oh, they're relaunching in December, like, it's been a few months, like, there's going to be nothing. But I think we actually did a good job of like, okay, let's focus ourselves and just make this great. Listen to our community. You know, what do we need to change? You know, take a step back. What doesn't
I've
fit? You know,
yeah,
refine it.
Yeah.
I've been pretty
And
impressed with what you guys done with this relaunch, and it's giving me the vibe of like, hey, this is the direction we want to go in, and
yeah,
this is where we're heading now, and that's kind of a good feeling, you know, like you guys have a
yeah,
solid direction on what you want to do now.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
was up like
So
I woke up late last night and I was playing the relaunch and I was like, I actually don't want to stop. Like I should sleep, but
I
I
I,
don't want to stop
I
playing.
streamed for 14 hours, dude. I was having too much fun.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's a little mad at me from how much time I've been playing. I'm not even gonna lie. I might have
love
to
to hear
sleep
it.
on the couch soon.
Yeah. Anyways, that is all to say. That's kind of where we're at right now. But like,
Okay.
you know, you said that you saw a lot of potential in it. We did
Yeah.
too. There's a lot of things that we got to get right though to like
Hmm.
put forward a product that we're proud of and like
Would you say the
being
maps are
frozen for
the?
10 seconds
Would you
at
say
the
the?
end of every. Sorry, go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out. Would you say that
You're
like
good.
the maps were like the issue of the multi-team and battle royale? You think, or like what was the main issue apart from like performance issues?
Uh, I mean, I think, like I said, performance was a big thing. And then outside of that, just like giving it more time in the oven to polish it
Mm-hmm.
and refine it and get it to a point that feels, yeah, I mean, like I said, like a product that we're proud of putting forward and a product that our players want, right? Like
Yeah.
a BR is not necessarily what the arena shooter fans want,
Yeah.
but you know, what is the version of this that is that, and how do we push it more in that way? And that's kind of what we're doing
Yeah.
now,
Let me
figuring out.
clarify on that because um we had confirmation that Death Star said that the maps was made for BR in mind first, but then you guys put it support for Onslaught later on, and you know, to me, like I some people enjoy multi-team, but I felt like the maps didn't really play well at all for multi-team, and I think it was just because you die and then you have to go across a very big map, like halfway across a very big map to like get back to the hill. It was tricky, right? And then if you go back there, you have
Yeah.
potential to die, and then you're not gonna go back for like another like 20 seconds or so. So you know,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
I would say maps were not the problem for BR. For
okay.
for Onslaught though, to your question,
Yeah, for
which it sounds like you're
multi-team.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I still don't really think I would say that Onslaught the maps were the problem because our design philosophy for those spaces was pretty similar between like Arena and BR, like more
Mhm.
similar than you might think because like we've heard a lot of, you know, just talking with people and whatever, like learning kind of what do people think about when they're building, you know, an Apex Legends map, a Fortnite map, whatever. And I would say our kind of what one of the things that makes Battle Royale more arena-y than other BRs to me is the maps, which is like our whole thing the whole time is like, let's make these really fun places to fight in. Like, we're gonna have a faster paced game. Let's make it fun to fight in these places. Um, which I think we've done, and I think when you get in fights in multi-team, there's a lot of fun fights you can have.
Mhm.
But I think it's again like there wasn't enough love and time given to that mode to make it work within its sandbox, if that makes sense. So like one of the things that we messed with a bunch that I think we never quite got there was like, you know, okay, this is a big map. How do we keep kind of combat focused in what area? Like, okay,
Yeah.
let's have people spawn closer to the points. we never quite ironed that out, so sometimes you still spawned completely across the map. And also, like, just asking, like, what is the version of this mode that actually works on these maps? Which is like hot zone with 3 teams is like kind of just chaos sometimes. Of
Yeah.
like, okay, there's 24 people, 16 enemies, they're all just fighting in one spot. Like, maybe that doesn't work, but I think that there are versions of that that can work on those maps.
So maybe just having some specialty modes for Onslaught itself.
Right.
Yeah, which we
Yeah.
just didn't have time to do, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's
Okay.
just
That
use
makes
our arena
sense.
modes. It's hot zone, it's KOF, or it's whatever, hot zone domination, it's team deathmatch. And then like team deathmatch, like there's 24 players on a huge map now, so it's just
Yeah.
like boring.
Yeah.
Where hot zone is the complete opposite, where it's 24 players on this really focused point, so it's just complete chaos. Where I think domination was probably a better balance, and still
It
probably
could
not
be,
quite
yes.
there, but like domination to me, and I think to a lot of people, was the best version of onslaught, because you're keeping people focused in a way that's not boring like team deathmatch, but you're not absolute utter chaos, 24 people in one spot like hot zone.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
what is the version of that that works well, and is its kind of own experience that highlights the strengths of the big maps? And I think also, what is onslaught other than like arena, but with more players on a bigger map? Figuring that out is, the other thing that we're kind of in the process of on that front.
So it's
Awesome.
so it's mostly the performance first, and then possibly retweaking the game modes. You would say for
Yeah, I mean,
multi team.
yeah, probably. I mean, we're still in the process of figuring it out, right? But
Okay.
that's kind of where my mind is at. Is like, I don't think that the maps are the problem. It's more like,
All
how
right.
do you
Use the
make this its own
maps.
experience that's fun?
Yeah.
Because the
It makes
maps,
a lot of sense,
to me at
actually.
least, like, if I'm running around that map and I'm in a fight on multi-team, like, that's fun.
Right.
Yeah, and
Or on
that's
onslaught.
kind of, when you explain it, that's kind of the feeling I got as I'm playing it. It's like the map itself is fun, but then you're looking at other parts of the map and you're like, well, what is this part meant for then? Why aren't we using this? Why aren't we flowing through here? And if you had a game mode set up for the maps to be used more, it would make the flow of the maps make more sense then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was the last personal question I had. Could we potentially see more achievements added for the game? I noticed there wasn't any added for the relaunch.
Yeah, achievements are kind of annoying because peek behind the window, I guess, of game development. There's like a few. Going to non-Steam platforms is not as easy as going to Steam, and part of that process is going through certification. And basically, the way certification works is like there's a checklist of a million billion things that you have to do right, and if you don't do them right, then they let you know in a week that you got to try again. We had a lot of problems with that on Splitgate 1 of like just barely getting through cert on time or not getting through cert on time and having to delay for console and whatever. Um, anyways, obviously with this time we haven't had a lot of cert issues, fortunately, but the reason for that is like way ahead of time. Once you get through that full certification round once, then it's like kind of like okay, the platforms know that you're good. Like, let's do like a lighter check just to make sure things are working, and then you're good to go. So we've been in that state for quite a while of like, okay, it's a lighter process. It doesn't take 2-3 weeks to go through certification. It's just like put in the update and you can release something the next day. So that's how you get in a state where you can release updates at a reasonable cadence and fix issues reasonably quickly, etc. Um, anyways, when you change achievements on any platform other than Steam, you have to go through a full cert again, which is again like a 3-week process that's like super mark every box perfectly or try
Yeah.
again. So that's why we didn't add more achievements. We
Fair.
want to, and also
Okay.
like I don't know if you guys realized because maybe you already had the achievements done, but like one of our achievements right now is it used to be like get hot zone captures or whatever,
Yeah,
and we don't have hot zone in the rotation.
firecracker as
And
well.
then firecracker plants, we don't have firecracker, so we just made it so you can get those in other ways, and it's super confusing right now. But like that
Yeah,
was kind of
they kind of just
the
randomly
option that we
popped
had.
up. I was like, how? I was like, I was kind of curious. I was like, how's that being determined right now? How you get them? You know?
Yeah, we didn't want to make it impossible, obviously. Like that would be
Yeah.
super annoying for all of our, people who want to earn all the achievements and whatever. But it was just like the option we had to, we considered a bunch of different ways to make those achievements still learnable. But that's what we did for now, and then we'll hopefully revisit that in the
Could
future.
you
Just
could you guys see if would you say that you guys probably will have those achievements possibly renamed based on like you guys have the clear condition be currently?
the same thing with renaming them as far as going through full certs. That's why we haven't done it
Okay,
yet.
gotcha.
Obviously, this is not a perfect solution, though. That's
Right.
not what we want to do forever of just like randomly give you achievements. So
Okay.
I don't know when, but at some point in the future,
Yeah.
we'll go through and hopefully when we do that, we can also add some more fun, cool achievements for people to go for.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Do you guys have any questions for Akuvo here?
I actually just have a quick question. So for this relaunch season, it's technically considered season 1 now. Are there any cool events or tournaments coming up that we can look forward to? I know we have the one that's going on today. I'm not sure if it's already over or not.
Yeah,
Wasn't
we had
paying
like the
attention.
MVP thing yesterday, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we have the Tracker GG partnership thing going on. I don't know exactly how that works. It's today and the
I
next couple days or something.
Okay.
I had
Maybe.
I
I
had
don't. I'm not super in the loop there, admittedly. So don't listen to
I
me.
just
But
saw
Yeah.
some people on their streams. They're like getting prepped for it and everything. But
yeah. But anyways, I mean, will there be more? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not super involved in
okay.
that stuff though.
Oh, okay.
But
was
yeah, I mean, more fun stuff. I'm sure is planned and coming up.
was the MVP tournament like a last minute kind of thing? Because I noticed like it didn't really seem like it was advertised anywhere. Like I didn't even know about it until it was already over. So I was like there was no advertisement on the official Discord or anything. So I was like there was an MVP tournament? Like what?
I'm not
So
super sure to be honest.
you don't
Like I
know?
said, I'm
Okay.
not super involved, but I know we wanted to do something cool for the MVPs.
Right.
I didn't follow super
I
closely.
I just had no clue it was a thing that was happening. I was like, okay.
Well, that's
So,
unfortunate, but
Yeah,
hopefully next time.
right.
yeah. So my question is, and I ask every dev that comes on here, this question
Who's
is,
my
what
favorite
is,
dev? I'm just kidding.
what is your favorite bug that you've encountered during development? Whether or not, that's something that you just stumbled across or something, of course, those devs who are more code incentive are, finding more unique things.
There's a really fun one for a while. I think we posted a clip of it that like I don't know exactly what was happening behind the curtain, but for some reason like attachments or something were scaling improperly. Anyways,
Oh,
the effect though was that bats were like 100 times bigger than they were supposed to be.
yeah, I
So you'd
remember
see
that
people
clip.
running around with
Yeah.
just huge
Yeah.
bats. That was a really
Yeah.
funny one. Trying to think back because I know there's been a lot. We had a funny thing the other day while we were testing uh, the whatever BR becomes, um, where the storm accidentally moved like 100 times faster than it was supposed to. So we were all like in the same spot, just like whatever, looking at stuff, trying to give feedback, whatever, and then all of a sudden, just the storm flew past all of us, and we were all like, "Oh God!" And it was pretty funny. Um, I mean, there's a lot of funny random stuff that happens though.
Yeah.
Um, I'd have to think more though about what other ones I've run into.
Yeah, you can get back on me, I guess.
Will do. But yeah, the Bat one is probably the most memorable to me. That one was really fun.
It's always
There was
fun.
also huge people actually that happened for a while. Specifically
Huge
in
people.
VR testing. Yeah, like I think it was a skin. If you had a certain skin on a gun on, your character got scaled to be like 1,000 times bigger. So just all of a sudden you'd see a huge person across the map. Um,
That's
I basically just like when things get really big or really small. There's always like the fun,
Yeah.
like in Splitgate, the baby portals that you could have were really funny to me. Where it's just like for whatever reason a portal wouldn't grow to the correct size and you'd have baby portals. Um, Portal ripping in Splitgate 1 was a funny one. I don't know if you guys remember that,
I
but
do, yeah.
I witnessed other
we
people do it, but I had no clue how it exactly worked. So I was like, it's
at the
probably
time I was
good I don't know how to do it, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
I wonder if I could find the clip, but I have a really funny moment from that. Because when we found out how to do portal ripping, it was like the thing in the competitive scene. And for one scrim, we were playing. I don't remember who all it was. It was like Chinzo, Kush, somebody, that team. And my team WGL was like fully abusing portal ripping. Like, how far can we push this? And we were on silo. So for those who don't know, the way ripping worked is like you could move around one of your portals while you don't move. So like if I'm at point A and I'm portaling to point B, I could move through into portal B, back to point A, but move portal B somewhere else. Because I was like going through my portal before my portal moved, basically. So anyways, we would sit at the very bottom of silo in those tiny little spawn rooms, and we would just portal rip all over the map. So we had 4 of us all in
Oh
the
my
tiny
god.
little spawn room on silo, portaling everywhere. And then Kush, who we were scrimming, ran through one of our portals to try to kill us just because, like, he didn't know what was happening, right? He just saw,
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a person shooting through that portal. I'm going to run through and kill them. And he just ran into a room of 4 people that are all portal ripping. And you could see, like, the portal trails going all everywhere, buggy like. And he just, like, screamed. And that clip is hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites as well.
All right. Since I've been the one that's been asking all these questions, you guys want to maybe just read out some of these questions gathered by the community here? Yergi or Koma?
Yeah, I can do that if you need me to.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's start with the first one here. Will Splitgate Arena Reloaded be getting a camp point at any point in the future? It doesn't have to be soon or anything. Just, is there any even ideas being floated out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of what I touched on as far as, like, refocusing on arena first and then like growing more slowly from that, avoiding biting off more than we can chew
Yep.
is like
Yeah.
why the answer realistically in any near term is like no, we're not going to have a campaign.
Yep.
I'll say, like, just for context for you guys, like campaigns are ridiculously expensive to make as far as like both money and like just how many people you need to work on it for how long.
Mhm.
And it's just not something we're good at, right? Like we've hired people that we think will be really good at making an arena shooter first and a multiplayer shooter. Like we don't really have the expertise to make a killer campaign right now, but I think we do have the expertise to hopefully make an awesome arena shooter that, you know, has a bunch of really fun things going on. And yeah, so short term at least, no, who knows what the future holds. Like I think Ian said pretty directly no to a battle royale back in 2019, and then we
Yeah,
released
he
one.
did.
So who knows? But
Yeah.
right now, no, like probably no time soon.
Right.
Okay.
And we're trying to stay really focused on like
Yep.
yeah, staying focused. So for now, we're not really thinking about that.
So, and then kind of on that note of staying focused on the arena modes, can we be seeing some more classic Splitgate 1 modes make a comeback, like Capture the Flag, VIP, T-Bay Confirmed, or maybe even Infection?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. For sure we'll add modes. Like I think you guys already saw that we've
Yep.
got Instagib and one in the chamber in custom games. We haven't added those yet to any
Yeah.
playlists, but those are a couple modes that we are adding, or technically are already in the game. Other modes, I mean, modes are not super cheap to make, especially anything that requires like custom UI. You know, I touched earlier on how like competing for a UI resource is difficult. And
Yep.
like UI in game is a lot of the same resources as, you know, the UI in the out of game experience. So, you know, there might be easier ways to do something that's really similar to a capture the flag by just changing some rules in Splitball. Like you can't
Yep.
steal anymore or whatever.
Yep.
And only spawning flags after one is captured. Like that I could totally see us doing and it not costing a lot of UI. Infection, we want to make eventually for sure. Like infection's really cool. Just figuring out like what is the coolest version of that that we can do really well. Um, and like, you know, what is kind of how do we make that exciting, I guess, for
Yep.
a lot of players and make people want to come check it out. Just because that mode definitely does require a lot of work and a lot of UI and everything. So making sure that we get the most bang for our buck there as far as resourcing. Um, Similar to what I touched on with races, right? Like you don't want to spend a lot of time for a niche mode. So how do we make it more than just a niche mode that's really awesome for everybody to enjoy?
Yeah.
Um,
That's great to
yeah,
hear. That's great to hear. And then for the last question from the SGA community, uh, can you describe the design theory and thought process that drove the implementation of the classic mode weapon pickups and power-ups placed in the maps?
I
So,
read that thread of him asking that question.
yeah,
I I was
I'm
so
not a
confused
level
at first.
designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand the question. I'll say up
Okay.
front, like I'm not a level designer, so I didn't place them. I gave a
Okay.
bunch of feedback though. I'll say like a lot of the feedback I gave. Actually, I guess I'll try to start more high level than that. Around like what our thought process is for placing them. It's really like sorry,
Very good.
trying to balance the map in like, you know, putting them in places that are gonna attract flow and fun places. You know, you don't want a tier 2 weapon in a place that nobody wants to go because it's not fun to be there, but you also don't necessarily want it like where people already are, right? Like attracting flow is a good thing to new parts of the map that are still fun. So like one thing that we've had to avoid and have done for the most part is like we shouldn't probably have a power up right where the first King of the Hill zone spawns. Like that should probably be in a different spot. I think right now that is the case on Grit, which we're gonna address at some point. But like in general, you know, we've got 9 King of the Hill zones on a lot of these maps. Like putting these, you know, power ups in places that there isn't already hill, so people have to go out of their way at the start of the game and like considering, you know, when are these power ups gonna spawn during a game of King of the Hill or Domination or whatever. Um, and then just kind of making it equally balanced, I guess. Like if you look at a map top down, okay, here are all the hot zone slash King of the Hill, whatever locations. Here's the domination locations. How do we kind of bring balance to this map, bring flows to the areas where you feel it's lacking? Um,
Bless you.
God, I was sick like 2 weeks ago, and I
Oh,
just can't stop coughing. Um,
damn.
so that's kind of some of the high level things. Like, you know, if you've got a symmetrical map, looking at it, okay, we could put assault rifles over here, SMGs over here. You know, the
mhm,
SMG would be fun here because it's more close quarters. Like a lot of this kind of like natural thought processes. I know one thing Sam did that was totally his idea, which I think is really cool, is like, we've got 3 SMGs. Let's make these map specific. So like, oh, this is an Eros map.
Okay.
Let's put Eros secondary weapons on this map.
Yep.
To make it easier to remember what weapons are going to be on a map, etc. And then a lot of the feedback that I gave was around like making it easier to find and remember, and like, you don't want a ton of UI on your screen all the time.
Yeah.
So having them be in places that are easy to remember and kind of intuitive, like I'd say in some of our early passes on it, like they were a little more out of the way. So then when we did playtesting, it was like the more casual players were like, I never even found a secondary weapon. It's like, okay, well, how do we address that? One of the ways we did that is just bringing it more into the flow of the map, like,
Yeah.
easier to find, less out of the way, because these aren't like tier 1 power weapons, right? You can put a tier 1 power weapon really out of the way and I'm going to go get it because I'm going to be really strong, where this is more just like a supplemental thing. And then we also had a ton of tweaks to like, when do you show the name? What are we going to do to like we made the VFX on the weapon spawn pad a lot more obvious, just so it jumps out more to you. A bunch of stuff like that happened. Anyways, kind of getting off topic, but yeah,
It's all
like I
good.
said, I yap too much sometimes. But yeah, just putting them in places that balance the map well, aren't too out of the way, easy to remember. That's kind of the advice I would give, I guess.
Gotcha.
Awesome. We're gonna kind of just run through the next couple here because they're not quite as important, and just some quick answers would help. Power weapon skins, can we possibly see those in the future? I know we had them in Splitgate 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally the reason we didn't do this was twofold. One, power weapons were random on each map, so we didn't want it to be like frustrating of like, I never see the power weapon I spent
Yeah.
money on, because that would be annoying. And then we also had a plan to potentially take power weapons out of rotation at some point, of like, okay, this month you can't get rockets anymore, and we changed rockets to be whatever, crossbows. There aren't crossbows in the game, but in theory you could do something like that.
Like if you're
Yeah.
adding a new one in or something.
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
if you add 15 power weapons, then you're just gonna end up never seeing any of them. So to try to keep like, oh nice, there's a new power weapon, like making that something that you're actually playing with as a user, we had the idea that we might remove power weapons from rotation. Both of those are not the case anymore. I'm sure you guys have noticed that now every time you play on a map, it's the same power weapons on that map, for at least until we
Yeah.
decide to intentionally tweak them.
No, I haven't
Um,
noticed that yet.
that is the case now. So
I
like,
Yeah.
if you
I
play Abyss, it's
yeah.
always whatever it is.
It's a
Railgun
BFB
up top,
and
BFB in the
railgun.
hallway. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why my
Um,
inspect and reload videos like separated to like multiple maps, because I learned that it's like, well, I can't just like get whatever random power
yeah.
weapons are anymore, so I had to separate to multiple maps.
So all of that is to say maybe. We didn't do it for those reasons, but those aren't reasons anymore.
Right.
But we don't have skins made, so maybe in the future.
Yeah, that'd be
This
cool.
is a question I've seen asked a couple times by people. Any plans for clan systems?
Not like concrete plans.
Okay.
I had a design for clans back in the day, but that's a lot of UI resources and
Yep.
backend resources, so it's fallen on the priority list. I think clan systems are cool though, so maybe in the future.
Okay.
Maybe
It'd
in
be
the
cool to
future.
see that like integrated into like a tournament system too, where you can have like clan versus clan like tournaments or something like that.
Yeah, we
But
had all that stuff designed out, and like, how do you make it not just who's better at the game, but
right.
like,
Yeah.
something that's like more fun to play with casual friends and stuff. So that if we ever do it, hopefully we'll do it in a way that's fun for everybody.
Okay.
And then how much time during the workday do you get to spend playing the game? Because we know that like to do your job, you do have to test the game itself, play it, and see how it feels. on average throughout a day, what would you say that is?
I basically only play the game. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like,
Not as
I
much
am the
as I'd
game.
like to. Yeah, exactly. Not as much as I'd like to. We have like 2-hour-long company play tests every week, so at least those 2 hours, everybody in the company is playing the game. Because whether you're me or an artist or anybody, like, you should be playing the game because
Yeah.
we're all building a game. We're not doing a design showcase or art showcase or an audio showcase. Like, we always try to keep the main thing. We're making a game, so keep that in mind, right? Like, play it as a gamer, and we think that's really important. So everybody plays the game that much. This week I've played a ton of Splitgate, but I guess I could tell you how many hours I have on the game total, and that you could do some math. Let's see. I've got somewhere like,
I was gonna say it should tell you your weekly hours.
I'm not sure this week because I've played a lot more, but I think I total have like 1,400 hours or something in our test branch and public branch. So
Wow.
however much that is over the past few
Is
years.
that the start of like the development of Splitgate 2 or the start of development of Splitgate Arena Reloaded?
Since the start of Splitgate 2, it's the same branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Damn.
And then also there's a bunch of hours that don't count because they're an editor, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that counts.
And then I'm gonna end off with this question: is there anything that was in Splitgate 1 or Splitgate 2 that you will be miss because it won't be in the current version of Splitgate?
Miss. Good question. We used to have fast mags. I kind of miss that. That was cool.
Oh, the
I don't
fast
know if you guys
mags.
ever remember that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
was in
remember
one of our
that
playtests. We cut it
very
because it was
early.
just like basically every gun you ever make, you now have to do a second reload animation, which is tons of animation time, and a second audio for that animation. So it's a ton of audio time. And then every
See.
skin you ever make for that gun, you also have to make a reload animation and audio for. So it's just like, this is just gonna take infinite time. Like, this is just not worth it. So we don't have it anymore, but it's kind of fun gameplay wise. We made it a
Yeah.
perk instead, so you
I-
just reload
Yeah.
faster with a
I
perk.
didn't even realize that
Um,
perk was gone. It's like, damn.
The perk is still there. It's just
Oh, the
the
perk. Okay.
attachment that
Yeah.
existed in like the first alpha ever isn't
Oh,
there
okay.
anymore.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that far back.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think around that same time, everybody was really not happy with how we couldn't reload and sprint at the same time. I think that was also
Yeah.
right before
That
that
was
change came in
frustrating.
too.
Yeah.
So that's whenever
Yeah.
that
That's
fell
the
apart,
other
I guess.
thing I miss. I wish we couldn't sprint while we were reloading. I'm just kidding. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's some maps in the first Splitgate Helix I've been missing recently.
So
Okay.
far,
I'm glad Oasis is back.
There we go.
Oasis has ironically really been fun lately. I
Yeah.
I
What do you
feel
guys
like
think?
it feels smaller to me, but I don't know if that's just because of the movement change.
It feels
Did you
different
guys
because
rescale it a little bit?
It should be exactly the same.
yeah,
Exactly the same.
it feels the
But,
same to
Maybe it's the
me.
well, not
movement.
exactly. The scale should be the same. I
Yeah.
realized after we launched that we accidentally, I assume it's an accident, added an angle. You remember the old statues on Oasis? Kind of with those cubes with a statue on top?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Over like by Plasma Room, it used to be. Uh, you can now portal between those where you used to not be able to, which
Oh yeah, you're talking
I
about
didn't
like
know was a
underneath
thing.
the basement area,
Yeah.
underneath the sniper. You talk
Yep.
about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You can
You could go
portal from
from
those cubes next to it now,
yeah.
which is
I think I
new.
saw cows do that. I was like, oh, well done.
But anyways, the scale should be the same, but you can definitely move around it better with slide and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movement feels better. I've only played one game on it, I think, though, so I haven't had a real chance
Yeah.
to test it out yet.
I think the
See how
two
it
other
feels.
things that to me makes it feel better is one, if you're getting shot from one of those billboards on the side that were always kind of frustrating in the first split game.
This overloaded
Um,
now. Yeah.
you can overload it or just like
block it.
clear their portal with one EMP or with one portal shot, right? Like
Yeah.
back in Splitgate, you had to like lob an EMP and hope it hits, and then they just place it again, and it's like, all right, great, I'm dead. Where now you can
Right.
just immediately clear that portal, block it if you need to.
Not wrong. That was the problem in Splitgate 1 is by the time they cleared it, you could just throw your new portal up and go back to camp and
It
Yeah,
is.
and then the other thing is, this wasn't intentional, I don't think. Maybe Sam did something I don't know about, but you used to just always spawn at the top of those towers, and there was always someone with a portal there just waiting
Yeah.
for you to walk out so you could die. And for whatever reason, I feel like I almost never spawn there anymore. And if I do, there's not a portal there. So
Right.
yeah.
maybe our spawn system got better. Maybe he did something with the spawns to make that better. But I feel like I spawn like back cubes, underground, places that I don't just feel immediately dead a lot more now.
Mhm.
So
If I
that
were to
to me makes
assume,
it feel
probably
a lot
just
better.
maybe just reduce the amount of spawns within that building, perhaps. Maybe, or
Yeah,
just maybe
maybe. I
adjust
mean,
to the priority or something.
yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but whatever it is, I think it feels better
Yep.
to me.
Yeah.
New
I
Oasis definitely feels better.
yeah. I
Yep.
think all three of us voiced I think just in our last podcast that we're like, they're not bringing back Oasis. They're not bringing it back. And then
The
you guys just
we
surprised us with it, and it actually plays pretty well, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
nice
think the
work.
movement really complements it very well, and
Yeah.
it's a very pretty
All the
map too.
slopes and everything.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
our team
pretty as
killed it.
well.
They
Yeah.
cause like with a map like Abyss, like we redid that in the first Splitgate, like right before we transitioned, so it already looked really good. Where Oasis, it was like we ported it over and it, through the process of what it took to add it, and it was like this just doesn't look nearly as good as any other map,
Yeah,
just from like an
I
art
can't.
quality standpoint. But we did a bunch of work to churn, redo a bunch, add a ton of stuff, redo the skybox, redo everything, and
Yeah,
yeah, they
because
really made it look awesome.
I remember when people were like, "Oh, we need Abyss back," and I was like, "Well, I feel like since Abyss has already been remade, I feel like it would just be like we would see exactly what was left in Splitgate 1, and I'm glad that we got that version."
Oh yeah. Speaking of the remakes, when we get seeing Foregone.
That's it's the other map that looks good for sure. So
It's been remade. It
who
fits a
knows?
pattern.
Who knows?
Yep.
That's really what I guess I'm hoping to see as we go forward is with the new seasons that come out, we get old Splitgate maps with a couple new maps, and that just would be a good content loop to be in, I think.
But yeah, like with this obviously relaunch, we got 2 brand new maps and
Mm-hmm.
3 remakes. It was Abyss and Oasis and Carmen Station.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It was a lot actually.
yeah, it really I think makes the map pool just in general in the game feel a lot better having
One
that.
thing,
Definitely.
Yeah,
one thing I was surprised
spice.
about the Abyss remake is apparently people found the old Easter eggs on it,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
can
Yeah. It's still there.
still find the old Easter eggs
So
with the
Yeah, you
little
can.
goblin, and I'm really
Mr.
surprised those
Yeah.
stuck
Splitgate.
around.
The Mr. Splitgate and the Goblin, dude.
Yeah, yeah, so that's cool.
I have a shirt with Mr. Splitgate on it somewhere.
Oh hell yeah. That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah. Alright.
Yeah, we don't want to hold you longer than you have to, so if you have to get going, I think we've hit a good spot. Uh
Awesome,
yeah,
guys.
no, thanks for
Thank you guys very
coming.
much
Yeah.
for
Thank you.
having me. I appreciate you asking.
Thank you for coming
No,
on.
no, thank you. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
we didn't know if you'd actually come on, and it was honestly a great experience.
For sure. I'm always happy to come chat. And like I said earlier, if there's anything you guys want specifically of like, man, if we had this mode with this option, let me know. I won't promise that I can do all of it, but there
So
should be
Alright.
some things I could be able to help you guys with, which
I have
would be great.
one final question. I think I would want to ask: if you were to draft another dev to come onto this podcast next, who would it be?
Great question. Um, I mean, what do you guys want to learn about? What's like interesting in the game? Is there anything
Um,
specific that you feel like you don't have insight into?
um,
Who is the person that really works with the custom games a lot?
I mean, there's not really one person. I don't know. Rod did the custom game mode saving, which
Game.
is
That's
great.
Okay.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
I don't know if
I
you
think
guys have had Rod yet, or if you guys have
No.
tried to
no,
have
we
Rod.
have not.
So
I think
it's just been you and
last
Death Star so far.
If
Ben, did we have
yeah.
Ben?
No.
on? We didn't have Ben. on?
No,
Yergi
Well, I think
I talked to
Yergi
Ben.
interviewed with
That's
Ben
right,
before,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we didn't.
yeah.
Ben
I
was a
mean,
good
I'm sure Rod would
conversation
have
for
a lot
sure.
of fun.
Rod,
Alright,
yeah,
yeah.
Rod would definitely be someone we have to talk to at some point.
Because
And
I think
then
last time I pitched the idea of pulling Rod on.
That'd be funny if we just had
Rod's
Rod.
hilarious.
It would just be fun to just have Rod on the podcast and he just busts out a tune while we're like in the middle of a podcast.
Well, he's gonna have to show up dressed up like it. Like he can't.
Right?
Not
He's always
show
that
up
way.
without. He is.
Yeah, all the
He's
time. We
comes
had an
in like that.
offsite. He showed up.
Yeah, there was
Red
a
robe. It was like, whoa, hey, Rod.
there was a picture of Finest Ben and Rod together, and I was like, so Rod always dresses up like that?
All the time.
It's like his
Yeah.
work
I-
uniform.
Yeah, there was a custom games bug, and I called him 2 weeks ago, and he joined call with face cam, and he just already had. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, we might just
Yeah.
have to get him.
24 hours a day.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got.
Yeah, I think he's
we
got
gotta get
7
Rod.
of them though. He told me he's got 7 red robes. So it's not. It doesn't smell bad. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, man.
He
He
swaps
just-
them out.
What
Cleans them.
what
He just
for
opens
every
his
day of the
closet,
week?
There's like 7.
It's just a bunch of red robes. Yeah.
He's got them label every day of the week. It's like, okay, this is my Monday
yeah,
one. This
I
is my
think so.
Tuesday.
Oh,
What is
that's great.
I feel like there's a show that has that where they open their closet and it's just the same thing. It's like SpongeBob, maybe.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
a bunch of shows have
I'm
always done that
sure,
kind of
yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
you know?
Here we go. This is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if this is. I'll post it in our chat. This is Rod, but it's
Oh
it's
yeah,
red robes.
the,
Yeah.
the SpongeBob.
Let's
Yeah.
see if I can.
I think you should just be able to drag and drop it to OBS, Phoenix, display it on screen or whatever.
Hold on. This is probably gonna look weird, but
Yeah.
hang on.
Yeah, that looks fine, I think.
But
yeah, I think having Rod on would definitely be interesting. So we'll see if we can get him next time.
one sec, guys. Let me cook. Okay.
Phoenix is trying to cook apparently.
All right. Well, you guys can see it. All right. Maybe not look the prettiest, but so yeah, you got the little SpongeBob meme with all the different outfits.
Different, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different. All right.
Just a
But
bunch
yeah.
of red robes. All right, guys. I'm gonna head out, but
All right,
again,
see
thanks
ya.
for having
Oh, yeah.
me.
Thank you for sticking around.
All right.
sure.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, have a good rest of the pod.
Thank
Later.
you.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning
ya.
in. All right.
For sure.
All
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 right.
right.
So now there's
We
3 of
got it.
us.
Yap about the game
And-
for a little while.
Yeah, we can yap about the game. What was how we feeling on the game overall?
Yeah, well, it was our first impressions with the relaunch.
I am satisfied. Is the only way I can really
Satisfied?
say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's a good word to use.
Every complaint that I think I had when it came down to just like I think the factions in general was really just poof, gone.
Mhm.
It's good being able to freely play with whatever weapon I want. I'm sad to see a few things disappear though. Like I'm currently missing the time dome and a bunch of stuff like that. I should have asked Akuvo about a lot of that. It's like,
Mhm.
why did you remove the time dome, the smoke grenade, and a bunch of that stuff? I would assume the smoke grenade probably got removed because portal locking anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't miss the smoke grenade as much, honestly,
Yeah.
as I thought I would.
Yeah, I feel like it's
Russ-
kind of became redundant. Now we have overloading and
EMPs.
EMPs.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
that stuff. But all in all, I'm really impressed, and I'm glad to see a lot of a lot of the community be like, yes, this is what the game needed. This is the direction that we wanted.
I've seen a
But
very
I
positive reaction
yeah,
from most of the posts and things I see.
but part of me will miss Splitgate 2 because it was unique in some way. Like Sir the Sabrask wall was kind of a pain in the ass,
They
but
were fun at times.
yeah,
Not
but it
gonna
was still
lie.
fun. It was a change, right? It was like throwing a
Yeah,
wrench into like a machine, right? Like,
it was a good change for a bit, I think, but I don't think it's something I would have wanted long term,
oh yeah,
honestly.
like I was saying, it's like if they really wanted to keep it, they would have to completely rework it, and in a way they did because that's what Overshield. Um, and I feel like it should have done that a bit earlier or something like that. But either way, what we're looking at is probably Splitgate we're going to be playing with for
A
however
while.
long,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
season
I'll
is
I
done.
will for sure be playing it for a while. I just had fun just doing this match to the next match. Quick play feels nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
I forget when I woke up like late last night because I passed out at like 2 and then I woke up at like 4 for some reason. And I was like, you know what? I have a little bit of energy. I'm just going to hop on Splitgate. Did a little bit of like map creating stuff. And then I hopped into like public matches and I was there for like 7 games. And I feel like I was losing track of time. And it's like, even if I got shit on like a few games, dude, I'm having so much fun because
yeah,
I don't know. It feels like an arena shooter, and that's like what I've been missing the most. Like I don't play shooters very much anymore ever since like I uninstalled Destiny 2, and it's like I feel like I'm playing Halo again to some extent. It's like
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, and that's like I've been playing the classic modes a lot just because I've been missing that even starts pickups mode. That's just what I like playing. That's why I originally got into Splitgate because I went from Halo to Splitgate because it's that whole even starts idea that I like. And them going back to that and focusing on that mode more, it just feels good. I wish they would make that the ranked mode. Like I don't like loadouts. It
yeah,
forces a meta. It really forces a meta. You have to play a certain way just to compete, and it doesn't feel good.
mm,
Yeah. Um, I am curious to see what direction they decide to take. Like, I know the esports question really wasn't pulled on to because it was under the Splitgate Discord.
Yeah, I
Um,
just knew we wouldn't have time to for the answer he
yeah.
probably would have gave.
yeah,
It just
Yeah, but, later on, I am curious to see if that would be the next, like how would they do that? Because, I think we pitched the question last stream or last podcast with cows, and, like, how would they do that? Like, are we gonna do loadouts? Are we going to do, you know, classic? It's like, how exactly are they going to
is it going to be takedown? Is it
do
going to
that kind of
be
stuff?
4v4 arena? Like what is
Yeah.
the esports going to be? So
I
like
yeah.
I think they're still experimenting, I think. I don't
yeah.
think they quite
I
know what their competitive scene's going to be yet, and
I
that's the
feel
big
like
experiment.
I feel like I already know the answer to the whole esport thing, and I think it's just determines if people are coming back to the game or not. Like, or if we're getting
Hmm.
players again, right? If it
Mhm.
becomes, I mean, if it starts popping off, then maybe you can start seeing esports then, right? But I think right now,
Yeah.
I don't think it's realistically possible to have esports for Splitgate at this very second until we get like
I
the numbers
Part of
and
me
stuff.
wants Yeah, I mean, part of me wants to see loadouts because I think loadouts is just interesting to see what people really like, how flexible the teams can be, right? It's like I think an idea like a thing about like Halo, it's like yeah, everyone starts out the same and then you have to like fight over it's like the tug of war against the map. It's like power weapon, power ups. But when it came down to like Splitgate, I think it's interesting the idea that you can have multiple team being almost like flexible where oh perhaps someone's running a stem to be like kind of like a scout kind of like how Eros was meant to be, and then
Hmm.
you also have like EMP nades, and then whatever else you want, with another, like a shock disc or something to be kind of like a disruptor, or a sticky grenade to be like crowd control or something like that.
Well, in classic mode, you only have an EMP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess it could just completely depend on how they want to pitch, I guess, esports. Because
Mhm.
I feel like if you're going to pitch in esports, you would go with the classic four. And, well, Takedown's not 4-player anymore. It's now 3. So it would either have to be you just do Takedown and you have like 3 players, maybe have like a single substitute, or however many substitutes esports teams have nowadays. Or you just go, I think, me personally, I would much rather see 4v4, mainly because game modes are so much more interesting to see, like objective play, like split ball, for
For
example.
viewer value, you're not wrong on that. There
Yeah.
is that. It just is easier to follow too as a viewer, where with Takedown, it would be harder just to visually always understand what is going on, just because you're going to
Yeah.
be having people portal spamming. That's basically what
Yeah.
happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think like 4v4, it's like more entertaining to watch, like on the standard maps, but I think the 3v3 on Takedown, it's more appealing to the actual players themselves, because that's why, like, it was more popular in Splitgate 1. Like, you compare the leaderboards, like, there was just way more champions at a quicker rate than there was in 4v4s, because
I
there's
I
just
I
not.
wanna I would want us to try and put together a Takedown tournament once, maybe see if we can get some of the competitive players to join in on it, and see how we can try and set up the showing to make it interesting. You
I
know what I mean? And viewable.
I would love to host tournaments in the SGA community. The only problem is that it requires funding. We need to give the players some kind of incentive, otherwise we're probably not going to have anyone to come and participate into it, right?
I
Yeah.
So
I think an interesting thing would just be, theoretically, you could just take some of the smaller maps like Ozone, Grit, and just do 3v3 normal modes on it, so you could flex, so you could be flexible for Takedown as well. Like, I guess
hmm
that's not something that you can't do, right? Like, but I don't know. It's definitely a weird situation, unless you would just split it into series where, like, you have the core series and then you have the Takedown series. So, but I feel like you're still leaving a person out, and I feel like that's kind of, that feels wrong to me. Like, I don't know why you would, like, oh, let's have an esports team of like the 4v4, but whoever doesn't make the cut for the Takedown, it's like, that feels a little wrong to me.
It wouldn't always be the same people playing both,
Right? Yeah.
but
But
I do know what you're saying.
yeah.
yeah,
Um. But we'll see. If the game decides to grow to that extent, that would be interesting. Uh,
yeah. Something I would wish to see in the possible future for Takedown is, like, don't make some new maps that are just not the simulation style. I want to
I
see some that's like actually hearted, you know?
I part of me wants like them to make like Takedown, but have like tiebreaker objectives, or like not tiebreaker objectives, like overtime objectives. So in I'm gonna go like kind of Destiny, down the Destiny rabbit hole here for a minute. But in Destiny we have a mode that's called, it's Trials of Osiris, but I think it's what they call survival. So it's 1 life and you can get revived by a teammate. But the thing is at one point they added a tiebreaker to where, if the time gets to a low point and there's still players alive, they had to either capture the point or kill each other. So therefore, it was like this. It was like the thing that players had to incentivize. If not, it would end a tie.
They could
And I
probably
think you
just
could.
they could probably just do like a storm system too, where like it just closes in on the center of the map. I would imagine. Like that's
You could,
yeah,
but I think in like Takedown, it would be interesting to see that, but with different objectives. So like you could do like a capture point in the center of like a Takedown map and be like,
yeah,
okay, so this is where everybody needs to go, and if you don't get it, then it just ends in a tie, or you have to wipe the entire team.
mhm,
Or for example, randomly spawning like split ball. It's like, oh, capture the single split ball, and your team wins it, because then
yeah,
at that point it becomes an escort mission or
Mhm.
something like that. I like, or just play takedown how you just normally take it. Like try and eliminate the enemy team, and I think that would be interesting. Not only from like a tournament perspective, just throwing like again a wrench into a machine and seeing how that you know causes a little bit of chaos.
yeah.
Um,
I do think that's like a
but
possible. I do think that's kind of like a flaw of takedown. It's like in theory, it could basically just last on forever, right? Like there's no
yeah,
time limit in the rounds. If you have like players just constantly running away, right? It's gonna be ultimately like a very long round, right? So it's
Yes and
like
no, but if it's that lopsided, it gets to the point where there's only ever one person alive on the other team, and then the other team's gonna have a full team. Those three people are gonna be able to hunt down that one person before the other two people respawn.
yeah,
I don't know. It's definitely a tricky situation, but I would let let them figure out how they're gonna do it.
because yeah,
So
there's been some rounds in takedown, especially when it was just 4v4s before. It was felt like it just lasted way too long. It was just going on way
4v4
too
is,
long.
yeah, I can agree with the 4v4 just because it's easier to keep more than one person alive then.
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Maybe the problem's mostly solved in 3v3s. I don't know.
How about a map that changes or falls apart during the game for takedown? That would be interesting, but I don't know if they're going to be putting that kind of resources into a takedown map.
Yeah,
Rather blend. I feel like takedown maps are kind of like. I mean, I could be completely wrong with this, but it feels like they're just like little side projects that the the level
Yeah.
design devs do.
yeah.
It's like, oh, I have time, but I feel like making something. Might as well make a fucking takedown map.
I
They're simple, easy.
So the story on the takedown maps is they weren't going to be adding it. It was after the last
Yeah,
playtest we had in January of this year or February, I forgot which month it was, that they had changed their mind and decided to add it. So it was kind of like a last minute thing.
yeah. Which I'm glad I made it.
Yeah.
I do kind of like, unironically, since like the takedown simulation blocks are like my favorite blockout tools. Like
same.
for context, for anyone who doesn't know what that means, is essentially it allows me to easily measure like how big my play space is before I start going through and like actually
Yeah,
officially making concrete layouts. It just allows me. It's just like if takedown never would have been like last minute like placed into the game, we probably wouldn't have the simulation blocks.
yeah.
It's like I'm really glad they decided to do that.
What's nice about the simulation blocks now is like it'll be easy to transfer, like change it, like what kind of material it is now, because we had the whole material swapping, and it
Yep.
basically it's no difference now of you put down simulation block or primitive block because they both change the same way if you just swap the materials out. So
So, which is
Yeah,
nice because
yeah,
with the sim blocks, you get the actual visualization of the grid pattern, which helps with the
yeah,
whole build process.
exactly.
yeah. So, um, I was about to say, y'all want to talk about any of the map creator stuff? Like, there's been quite a few changes and stuff for map creator. I've been slowly but surely chipping away at Leviathan again. Uh,
I haven't taken the time to even touch the map creator yet. I was
oh yeah,
so busy just playing and feeling out the rest of the game.
The stuff I've noticed was what Cora just mentioned in chat here was you could basically make there's the animated materials, right? You got the disco, the
lava.
lava, and then even the rainbow, right? It just swaps colors over
RGB.
time, right? But yeah, I didn't realize this because I had limited time to play test, right? When we had that 3 hours early
Mm-hmm.
play session. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can basically turn any of those materials like be in like a moving pattern. So like anything that you want that's like let's say like a moving like object or something, but it's like it's technically still, right? You can do that.
Oh, is that what the pan setting is? Is that what that is?
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
okay.
and then let's say you don't like the current tiles count they have or how the pattern is laid out. Like let's say you want like a
Yeah.
horizontal pattern be vertical, you can rotate how those tiles are shifted too. So that's also cool.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah. So yeah, that was something I didn't notice in the early tests. The rainbow one's awesome when you set it to double limit it start emitting a kind of
Correct color.
don't know what you mean by that. What I did notice was there was like some weird brightness setting where you can make it like very blinding. Like if you really want to, you can make an object very blinding. I don't know why anyone would do that, but you can. It just
For
makes
like
it
the
very bright.
emissive.
Yeah, the
Is that what
emissive.
we're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Halo had the same thing. It's like you would accidentally flip it on, and then it would like you would accidentally set it to the full setting. You're like, oh god, I got flashbang.
I went to go check if it actually like emits light. Like let's say
I don't.
I went on the side of it where I don't see it from the side, and it does not emit actual light. It's just
Yeah,
the
and
material
that's
itself
something
is
I
just
think.
very bright.
Yeah, that's something even Halo does, where
Yeah.
you can you can make like an object emissive, but it actually doesn't emit light.
Yeah.
So
Didn't
doesn't.
Core find a way to make glass too?
Yeah,
I
so
mean it's not a new concept. It's been around for like ages. You just do the decal, made it transparent, right?
it kind of. So essentially, what I think Core did the same thing, but essentially, I don't know if the alpha like tune thing is there anymore.
It
So
is.
what is it still there? I don't know. I don't remember. I
Yeah,
could probably load up
you
the
just
game
have
and
to
see.
you just have to open up with the color tree. For some reason, it's closed by default now.
Well, when I clicked onto it, I just darkened the color of the decal itself.
Yeah.
So it's usually like I think full white, but I lowered it to like a black grayish color, and it makes it somewhat transparent. And it also gets rid of that like almost like the texture replacement visual of the when you look through the decal, like it completely gets rid of that. So it actually looks like you're looking through like a window of some sort. So visually it's like so much better to look through and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um
You can just simply just lower the alpha channel and then you won't have to do that extra step.
my my only complaint about it right now is the fact that we just don't have like a square to really use it.
Yeah.
Like
That's why I
I
just
use the
think it's not
circle,
enough.
but
That's why I think
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
enough because like let's say you want like a square, like a very square window, and it's like large. Well, if you stretch that circle or decal, then you're gonna have those edges missing. Like you have like you have like a square with like an arrow inside, but that's also not enough because if you try to like put like a bunch of decals on top of each other, you can still see the arrow pattern seeping through. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, when what I did was I just changed the color. That's all I did. Like I
Yeah.
was looking for the alpha value. I was like, where the hell is the alpha value? I guess I just wasn't paying attention or something. But I didn't see it initially, and I just changed it to black, and I was like, huh, works. It's
Yeah,
like
if you plan to just do like circular like windows, like the whole decal strategy, I would think works fine.
it
But
it depends on your frame, realistically. Because I have a square window on Leviathan, which is what I've been working on. And I even used a circular decal for it.
But yeah,
And it
you're
fits
using
pretty
the
well.
one with the rounded edges though, aren't you? Aren't you not? The window.
No.
It has rounded edges. I saw.
No.
Okay.
I'm using like simulation blocks and framed out a window at like a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Mm.
I think I posted a screenshot somewhere.
Oh, hi, Spooky.
Spooky.
Everybody
Or
say
me.
hi to Spooky.
Hey, Spooky.
Hi,
Probably
Spooky.
only time you'll ever see him. He's like, nope, bye.
The only time.
Split cat number 2.
Yeah, let me scroll up. Oh yeah, that is a square.
Spooky.
Yeah.
So what did you do there? How do you make that work?
Here I can load it up real quick. It's literally just that typical like square window, but it is that circle decal blown up. But thanks to how thick the frame is, I managed to actually like hide the edges of that circle decal.
Let's see.
Are we able to make things move?
Not true movement, but we can make it appear like it's moving, like how they done on Hammerhead with the dirt.
Yeah, because I was seeing that video that Core had posted, and I was like a little confused what that meant.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fun fact:
what does it say?
I think the dirt is actually technically moving the player on Hammerhead,
Yeah,
but the map
that's what
itself doesn't.
that's what I thought too. It was the dirt actually moving, but
Yeah.
and the wheels are rotating, but the map itself doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's what I thought was going on
But
too.
we can create something similar in custom maps. It's just we can't create true movement objects.
Okay, so it's like something that it's almost like on a set path kind of thing, or it just looks like it's moving.
Yeah, it's just a visual thing where you see it moving.
Okay.
But if you go on it, it doesn't actually carry momentum or anything.
Okay.
I also learned that you can create fake floors with the if you do decals and then because fun fact you can swap the decals into a material, and what it does, it creates a very flat decal with the material override over it. And it also like makes like any of the decals like a square shape too. So
I seen you screenshots, but I can also just share my screen if the I don't. Did y'all fix the overlays for that?
I don't think so, but I can always add another box if needed. So
I won't bother with it then. But,
no. Go ahead, load it up. Do you have it ready?
Yeah, I already have it. I have it loaded up right now.
Okay, let's check it out.
What up, Clemsis?
So here's like just literally the settings that I have.
Right.
Oh, I see Leviathan. I already see it.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. So this is literally just the decal. I have it like on both sides, and it just fits. I don't have any material on it. I just changed the color.
Okay, so I feel like that only works when you have like the walls around like wide enough.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But like if your walls are kind of like thin, then that wouldn't really work. It'll just seep through.
So yeah, that just looks like glass then, which is kind of nice.
Like it's it's like a band-aid to the issue.
It definitely is a band-aid, but a band-aid's better than nothing.
Right. But I think we
Like it
still
actually can pass as glass, you know?
Yeah, I think we still all want like a custom glass piece in the future.
Yeah, I would like to have the reflection at least, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, at the end of the day, this will do fine, you know, especially for like information reasons. So.
I don't even think that's visible enough, in my opinion. I would just think you could just
Honestly,
run
Adam,
through
if
it.
you could even send that to me, that would be cool. Just
Well,
to
I can.
see.
Let me see.
Yeah, just
I
change
was
that. Just
reading
change the
chat.
alpha. So like go all the way down. Okay, you see the
This is
cut.
all the way down.
Yeah, go. You see the cutter arrow? Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Boom.
yeah. I mean, I could do that, but I think it's just easier just to change the color here. Like, if I really wanted to, I don't know. I mean, you could theoretically, I guess.
Yeah, like you could just make like a very dark cutter and just alpha it down. Really. I mean, that's how I discover.
Weird.
That's how I discover how to do that effect in Splitgate 2. So, because like I knew about the window effect, but I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to make very complex window shapes where it just doesn't really work.
It could be that you're just trying to do a very small, specific window, and it just isn't possible
Yeah,
right now.
I've helped other people create like something similar on their maps with like stretching out the SSL logo,
Yeah.
but that's also like very dependent on what they got for those surrounding walls.
Hell yeah. Hell
What the?
yeah.
Was that the weapon inspect?
Yeah, that's the weapon inspect. Yeah.
What? Okay. I should have got the weapons instead of the character bundle. Bruh. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Dude,
Yeah.
the punch pistol, because funny enough, I don't know why, but the punch pistol Oni skin's part of the character bundle, and
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like,
it doesn't do anything as cool as like what you just did there. Like what
but
the
I
heck?
can also show. Do I have the sprinter? I do. I suppose the sprinter is a little boring compared to the. Well, besides that, anyway.
If you
Those
want,
effects are.
we could probably work together and create a Oni animation showcase. Since I have
Yeah,
the
we definitely
punch
do
and you
that.
got all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Glass.
I think we should probably wrap it up about right here.
Thinking the same thing.
Yeah, because I don't want to force another ad break on you guys, and we're kind of just rambling at this point, right? But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
we're all enjoying the relaunch. It's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna go
I
ahead and
think we're
stop watching
just
that.
I think we at this point just need more time to experiment with what's being given to us with the map creator and customs now.
Yeah, I've
And
been doing a little bit of that here and there.
yeah, they put so much in there that I knew I wasn't gonna really get a good feel for it within a day or two.
Yeah. Okay.
But hell yeah, guys. It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah. Thank you to Akuvo again.
I think
Sure, cool.
I think we'll try to reach out Rod possibly for the next podcast and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
Do you guys want to maybe try to do the next podcast maybe like 2 weeks from now or something? Maybe we could try like every 2 weeks interval.
We can make
Yeah.
something work either every 2 weeks to every month because I feel like that would
Yeah.
be good enough for us to get new stuff to talk about at least.
Yeah, I think while like we're at the relaunch high, I think we should probably do like a one a bit sooner, you know? Like another one. All
Probably
right.
like right after New Year's or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop it, Evie.
Well, we'll see. And talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Hi guys. Peace.
See ya, guys.
Have a good one.
Adios.